I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper.
Anxiety, filling up every space, no privacy. And silently, it could build and build until you finally see, whoa, it's taking over, damn no closure, moving closer. No exposure, I just wanna be a loner. Some can't stay sober, looking over all their shoulders, like moving boulders just to get out of the home. It sucks, I've had enough, I don't wanna feel the stuck under the rug, all my problems that I shove.
I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper.
I've been feeling weird, I can't seem to focus good enough. Nothing's really clear, sometimes it could be a little tough. I just need to feel.
Hey everyone, how are you? We have good news. The Pennsylvania inmate that escaped has been caught. They do have a press conference, and we're going to be watching that.
Good evening. Lieutenant Colonel George Bivens, Deputy Commissioner of Operations with the Pennsylvania State Police, and I'm very happy to be standing here in front of you to announce the capture of Michael Burham a short time ago here in Warren County. I'm surrounded by some of the members of the team. There were certainly many more, and we owe them a debt of gratitude for all of the hard work, and dedication, and risk that they all took to do what we told the citizens of Warren County we would do, and that is to keep them safe. So at 3:57 this afternoon, our tip line received a call from some residents on Jackson Run Road in Conewango Township, Warren County, about a suspicious individual. We mobilized resources that I told you we have done many times, including a significant number of personnel on the ground, aviation assets, canines, and formed a very large perimeter around that area. By 5:50, Burham was in custody. He had been tracked through the woods. As he approached, let me look at the name of the road here, Logan Road, he encountered perimeter troopers there, attempted to prone out and hide, and was approached from behind by members of the marshals, the Border Patrol, and Pennsylvania State Police CERT. He was taken into custody and is currently at the Pennsylvania State Police Warren Station, where he will be processed. And as I have told you, determination will be made. We will ultimately house following his arraignment. It will not be in the Warren County facility. We are still determining where he will go, but that will be taken care of here shortly. I want to thank the residents of Warren County and the surrounding area for their patience through all of this. I know it was challenging for them. I know they were nervous. I know they were scared. But, you know, they remained gracious to all of our people and were very, very helpful to all of us. So I truly appreciate that. There is something else that I want to do here, kind of. So this is a good story to be able to tell you about tonight. I mean, we ended this without anyone else getting hurt. But I also wanted to tell you an interesting story. So as part of our Pennsylvania Police CERT team, one of our members is celebrating his 25th anniversary with the department. Sir, it's my last day with the department and with CERT. We got to get him today. We chuckled about it. Made sure, and of course, really thought it would happen. He might be the guy you want to talk to about lottery numbers or anything else, because I think he's one of the luckiest people around. Corporal Brian King. I want to tell you a little more to the story about this hero. He was one of the guys that was out here. He's been helping throughout this whole process, trying to make sure we could safely capture Burham. A number of years ago, Brian was seriously wounded on a barricaded gunman call down in Westmoreland County. Lost the vision in one of his eyes as a result of taking a gun to the face. He came back from that, not only as a full duty trooper, but as a full duty member of our special emergency response team. Has been an active duty member ever since, and I'm proud to call him my friend. I'm going to miss him here with the department, but I think it was meant to be. At back for today.
You guys, how many people do I have in here? There is Carly Richard, what's her, Russell. Carly Russell may have been found, you guys. Her family got a call from her at Red Roof Inn. Her family is at Red Roof Inn. 6 vehicles just pulled up. They need assistance. He's listening to the radio. What you call it? All right, I'm going to keep listening while we finish playing this and see if she was found.
So what the colonel is not explaining to you is the reason why I was able to do that was because of him. He's humble. He won't admit that, but that's the reason. So I'm going to recognize him.
So the only other thing I would tell you is that our investigation continues into any assistance that Burham may have received, and discussions will occur in the future with the district attorney's office if we believe we have sufficient evidence to prosecute anyone. And with that, I would be happy to take your questions.
Can you share more about the tip that came in? We're hearing that, a dog had maybe been barking and the owners went out and saw it. Is that correct? Can you elaborate a little more on
that? Is. It is, and they went out to check on why the dog was barking, went to the rear of their property. They encountered Burham. I'm told that a conversation occurred, brief conversation, asked him what was he doing there, and he said something about camping, and the owner of the property recognized him, got his wife back into, they were in a golf cart, got his wife back into the golf cart and drove away from there so that he could immediately contact us as Burham fled into the woods. And the rest of it played out then as I described for you.
That was in the backyard of their home?
Yes.
He was saying all week, we're waiting until he makes a mistake. What mistake did he make?
He came out into the open and was spotted by an individual. It's in the area, one of the portions of the area that we have been pushing hard. And as I said to you, that's been our strategy all along, is to push him hard, to have him make a mistake. He finally did. It was spotted. You all had a hand in that by getting the word out and making sure that people knew what he looked like, who he was, and that they needed to call us right away. And they did exactly what we asked and what you asked of them. And so he's in custody.
What was his physical condition when you found him? He's been on and off for a week now.
Looks tired and worn out, as we thought that he might. was still wearing his prison pants turned inside out. He was dirty, wet.
Do you see malnourished or dehydrated or anything like that?
I don't know that I would call him malnourished. It's hard to tell from just looking at him. Again, I would characterize his condition as worn out.
Were there words exchanged from him that you can share with us? What did he say?
We're not going to discuss what was said there. Again, he's being taken back to the station. There will be an interview done there, and he'll be processed and incarcerated.
Any additional details about how he was able to survive for this long on his own? Was there any equipment with him?
He did not have anything in his immediate possession. He did have access to some equipment that was out there. I told you about bags that were recovered. We did little equipment. To kind of close the loop on one of the reasons that we thought he was armed, and he was not, at least when we physically took him into custody again. We'll be searching that area just to make sure there are not any firearms still around that he dropped or hid. But there was ammunition of a couple of different calibers in those bags that we found. Not ammunition that would have fit a weapon that he used in the original kidnapping. And so that was one of the things that led us to be concerned that he may very well be armed.
You said he approached the perimeter and then lay down and was captured then from behind. Had officers seen him and forced him to run towards that other side of the
Oh, yeah. Yes, he was being pursued by the officers along with canines. New York State Police had a bloodhound, and Customs and Border Patrol had a search and patrol dog immediately behind the bloodhound. And so, yes, he was being tracked and pushed by a line of tactical members.
Did he attempt to resist or run away again after officers?
No, he was taken into custody at gunpoint.
Will he be arraigned on the escape charge tonight?
Yes.
Where will that be?
I don't know. Do you have any idea on that? No, we'll have to let you know about that.
Will he be facing any additional charges beyond the escape charge? Or just that?
That's to be determined yet.
Do you still feel he would need help along the way?
As I said, that'll be part of the ongoing investigation. And if we can prove that he was, there will be charges filed for that.
Can you talk about the feeling among the search teams now that he's finally, in custody? What are you feeling after this almost 2-week search?
It's a great relief. All of us were always concerned that we would end up with a citizen harmed in some way, or even one of the officers harmed in one way. There's a lot of responsibility when you put a team like this out into the field. And again, knowing that he had ammunition and may very well have a weapon, that he has used a weapon in the commission of crimes before, that he was suspected in another homicide. He really had very little to lose in this whole search that we conducted. And so it would not have been a surprise to me if there had been a violent encounter at the end. And so you're always worried about things like that. So to not have that play out, it's a good day.
For now that he's in custody, can you tell us how many stockpiles there may have been and whether there were stockpiles near where he was ultimately found?
There was not a stockpile in the immediate vicinity of where he was found, but we know that he was through the area where the stockpiles were. They were primarily south of Warren. He had identified 2, and we found a 3rd. And I say he had identified, we had maps that were also in his bag that identified some locations that he had stashed things. Again, I thank you all for your help in getting the word out to the citizens. And we're just very happy that it's come to a conclusion in this way. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, guys. So, okay. So this is the updates on Twitter. currently on scanner is Carly Russell's family. They're at the Red Roof Inn saying they received a call from Carly moments ago. To clarify, family heard from Carly, who said she was at the Red Roof Inn, and they are on the phone with 911 and just arrived at the Red Roof Inn. Deputies are there now and trying to locate her if it's true. Red Roof Inn is on with 911 now, saying about 6 carloads of people have arrived and they need assistance. They don't know if Carly is checked in and if it's the location they are calling from or the other one on the other side of town. Okay, so we're waiting to find out. Hey Lori, how are you? So Rex Heuermann, not Heuermann, is it Heuermann? I forgot exactly how to say it. So we have body cam footage of whenever he was arrested. So I'm going to show you guys that. All right, let's see. I still have my earbud in trying to listen about Carly, guys. Oh. All right, let's see. Oh. Did y'all see all of the guys in suits because they're plainclothes officers? Did you guys see them? They had like 6 of them. And then this is still photos of him just walking, carrying a bag. I'll call it a purse because he's a hole. He's horrible. Well, I don't know. That's horrible.
We're trying to promote the Descendants of Doom tour, trying to make everybody look kind of metal and,
Menacing.
They just got covered by Delta Dental and the nation's largest network of dentists, so they kind of can't stop smiling.
I said pause, thank you. All right. Blah. Hold on, I'm listening. Hold on. Okay. That's his house. That's the map with the victims. That's one of the victims. This is the one that he's a suspect in. He's not being charged with her murder yet. Oh man. Oh, there it goes. This is the they think this is the Asian male who was a transgender sex woman. Oh, that's him. That's the pizza box. That's the crust that got him arrested. Okay. I need to find that video to show you guys of Carly's vehicle. I thought I had it up here, but oh, it's right here. I did have it up here. We're going to watch this next since she may have been. And her family would. Oh, that's not it. Her family would know her voice, right? So she called. Her family would know her voice. So the family and deputies are there to find out. Okay, let me bring up this one. Can you guys see it? Okay, so this is the road that Carly traveled on. And let's see the video. It's like, I think 4 minutes long. It sure looks like those cars are going hella slow for a highway. You guys see that car with the flashers on that's on side of the road? I wonder if that's her car and why, if it is her car, why she drove all the way over there with her flashers on. And there's no sound, of course. That's a pretty heavy traveled road. How would someone have time to put a toddler on the side of the road? And it looks like that grass is pretty tall. What the hell? I don't know exactly at what time, if that's not her car. But I sure am looking in that grass and on side of the road when the headlights flash on it. That can't be her car. I'm still looking, guys. Tell me if you see something that I don't see. If that is her car with the flashers on, I haven't seen anything. And she can't get kidnapped while these cars on the road. What the F is going on? I have not seen one, like 5 seconds without a vehicle passing by. You see how heavily traveled this road is? I guess they have to be saying this is her vehicle because it's the only vehicle that I see on side the road and there's a minute left. However, as far as she's in camera from the beginning to where she is, her flashers were on. There's no way she saw a toddler from the beginning of where the camera begins to where she stopped. Okay, so there's the police. Hold up. Now watch. Watch. That's her car right there. Her flashers are on already. That's her right there. Right hand side. It looks like she's riding the shoulder. It's a 3-lane highway. You can see the solid white line, and she's driving on the other side of it. All right, let's watch her again.
She needs a pad in the living room. Go. I'm gonna get you food.
I am live. Yeah, it's the only one side of the road, but if you notice, side of the road, real slow with her hazard lights on. There's no way she saw a child from where the camera starts to show to where she pulls over on side of the road. Then this car on the left flashed their blinkers passing her. She's already on side of the road. Y'all, so Himebaugh is live saying that she was possibly found. There's 4,000 people in his chat right now, and they don't even know if she was found. Okay, so that's her, right? It looks like she stopped right there with her flashers on, right? And she stays there the whole time. Well, you can see her headlights going to the right into the grass and into the road, right? I haven't seen anyone come by her vehicle. Why are her hazards on And is she calling 911 now? Because 4 minutes later, you see blue lights right here. See? Hold up. I want to see at what point, if they show it, does he turn his lights on? All right, that's him right there. That's the cop right there. Can y'all see my mouse even? Right here. And that's where he turns his lights on. Yep. So I wonder, y'all, it looks like she freaking might have had car trouble. Why would she have followed? She could have been the only one that saw a child by the road and no one else stopped. True. Hey, Sherry. Sorry, I was in my other screen. Why would she have had her hazards on that whole time driving on side of the road? No, she did not see. Okay, so this next case, let me turn my phone down because it's really loud in my ear. Okay. All right, so I'm going to read from this magazine because my aunt was like, threw this magazine. Well, she didn't throw it at me, but I was in the bed and she tossed it on the bed and was like, here, you might want to do this for YouTube. So I'm going to do it. But I need some light. You guys, I'm getting too old. For real. I can't see a lot of things like reading and stuff. So it says, what happened to Mark Himebaugh? A mom's unending search. A boy left his New Jersey home 31 years ago and never returned. Now his mom hopes new tools like artificial intelligence may find him. And this article was written this year, July 24th. What? How it could be written July 24th whenever we're not even there yet? People magazine, please. Yeah, okay. The thickets of tall marsh grass swaying silently in the breeze across the street from Maureen Hembaugh's house near New Jersey's Sunray Beach are a constant reminder of the day the life she knew evaporated. On November 25th, 1991, after a long day at school, her son Mark, 11, hold on you guys. Yes, I have glasses. Believe me, I have glasses. I can't see without them. All right, here we go. He raced home, plopped down on the couch, and turned on the TV, like he normally did, she recalls. As he lounged in the cozy Delhaven, New Jersey home he shared with his mother and older brother Matthew, clouds of smoke began darkening the sky. A brush fire had broken out in the nearby marsh. Maureen, 71, recalls, and he asked me if he could go see it. Mark was putting on the LA Gear sneakers that once belonged to Matthew when a neighbor called Maureen asking for a ride. Maureen almost asked Mark to go with her, but I knew he wouldn't want to go because he was a curious George who wanted to check out the fire. She says, so she told him she'd be back soon. He said, okay, Mom. They were his last words to me. That split-second decision haunts Maureen to this day. When dusk came and Mark failed to return home, Maureen called the police, who searched with a helicopter and K-9 units alongside an army of local volunteers. In an interview with the local news station after Mark disappeared, Maureen pleaded for his safe return. I want him to come home, she said. I love him and I'm waiting. For more than 30 years, Maureen has continued to wait. Maureen and Mark's father, Jody, were separated at the time of Mark's disappearance. Jody was ruled out as a suspect in the case. Now, Maureen is still hopeful that sharing their story, featured in an upcoming episode of People Magazine Investigates on Investigation Discovery, will shine a new light on the still open case. After Mark went missing, nothing was ever the same, Mark's cousin Lauren McGuire says. That was the day all the innocents died. At first, police wondered if Mark had drowned in the surf or had gotten stuck in the marsh. During the extensive search, Mark's well-worn hand-me-down sneaker was found on the beach, and Maureen was hopeful it would lead her to her son, but nothing came of it. Oh, really, Sherry? Yes, hit that like button for me, please. After witnesses told police they saw a man in a car talking to Mark, the case became a likely abduction. That was really hard for me, says Maureen. You don't want anyone to hurt your child. Police looked at Pennsylvania resident Thomas Buttcavage. I don't know how to say it, Buttcavage. 57, who allegedly resembled a sketch of the man seen talking to Mark the day he vanished. A male prostitute told police Buttcavage showed him a disturbing video of a boy resembling Mark, which McGuire calls the worst case scenario possibly coming true. But Buttcavage, who was sentenced to 18 to 36 years in prison for sexual assault against young boys, has denied any involvement in Mark's disappearance. As the summer people flood Maureen's sleepy beach town again this year, police and the FBI have begun using an artificial intelligence service to help crack the case. Law enforcement officers are hoping that AI can reassess the evidence and find patterns that are not readily apparent. In the meantime, Maureen says, I'm still waiting and hoping that I'll get closure. That's what I really want. Tearing up, she says, he was a good little boy. Oh, all right, let's see. I have a couple of videos. There's a book someone wrote. Let's see. This is the book. If anybody would be interested in the book, this is the book. Mark was abducted 30 years ago. We have not given up the hunt for him. Where is Mark? Written by Richard McHale. So that's the book available. Let's see what this video is about. I don't know if it's about Mark or not. No, that's nothing to do with this. So you guys, look at this. This is the age progression photo that they did for him. So it says anyone with information on the case is asked to call the Cape May County Prosecutor's Office at 609-465-1135 or the Middle Township Police at 609-465-8700. Let's see. I do have a video from a podcast, and they have Richard McHale, the guy that wrote the book. They have him as a guest on there. All right, let's see. Yeah, I already know I hate ads. Wait, hold up a second. Hold up a second, you guys. I'm sorry. And hold on. They said Michelle. Wait. All right, so I don't know if that was the car or not. Oh man, hold up. Oh, I was looking at the wrong one. Holy guacamole. I knew I saw one that had her name in it. I know y'all just saw that, right? Where did it go? No, that's the same one. This one is 6 minutes long. Anyway, you guys, this is supposed to show her. Apparently, in this video, you can see her get out of the car and a person behind a sign, or you can see an ATV. All we know now is that family says they got a call from her at the Red Roof Inn, and that's where everyone is trying to find out what's going on. So that's the update on Carly. But I want to see this video. Oh,
She uh, rang 911 saying that
because I
she'd
gotta
seen a
take this
small child running up the side interstate. She was close to home. She'd been out having a bite to eat, close to home, rang 911, then rang a family friend saying that she saw a child and the family friend heard a scream. A couple of hours ago, a traffic cam has been released of Carly stopping the car. You see Carly with her hazards on, stop the car, and I believe you see someone getting out, and I believe you see an altercation. I'm going to play the relevant part of the traffic cam. It's about 4 minutes long, the whole video. I'm only going to play the bit where Carly stops and I see this potential
I hope you zoomed it
altercation.
in well.
I'm going to play it first as it appears on the camera, and then I'm going to zoom in.
Thank you.
And I'm going to slow it down. Let me know what you see in the comments.
You guys let me
All right,
know what
guys.
you see. I bet you that's her car with the flashers on, you guys, like I said. Thank you for telling me, Sherry. I forgot to put it up on. Well, I did put it up on screen, but the picture was hiding it. This is the woman that saw the baby on the road. On side of the road. All right, here we go, guys. Oh my God. Did y'all see it? Yes, right here. Do y'all see my did y'all see him walk up to the car? Yes. Yes. Okay, watch. I don't know if y'all could see my mouse, but it looks like a mileage sign because it's long. Like, look behind that. I know it's hard to see with the flashlight, the flashers, but look right behind this sign and you'll see someone come out and walk to the passenger side of the vehicle. You might need to make your screen bigger if you haven't, but watch real closely right there. But we never saw a toddler. And why was she driving on side of the road that whole time? See the shadow of the person? Now it looks like they're in the back. Did they get into the back seat? Yes. All right, let's see. You see them? You saw them walk around the back? Or that is the person right there. You see him? And then that's him walking around the back. Was that a door open? I don't know. That's crazy because all this is woods. All the way on side of the road to where she stopped with her flashers on, and then these people come out from behind the sign. What do y'all see? What do y'all think? Girl. Yes, Kaz, by the sign. You can see jeans and a black jumper, Janelle. Yeah, she did get out of the car, Kaz. All right, let's see. I want to play that video. I'm sorry that I'm interrupting this live about Mark, but sorry, I'm listening to see if that was Carly, you guys. All right, here we go. Oh. This is a podcast, so there's nothing to see. Can y'all hear it or no? Can y'all not hear anything?
Here today to discuss the case is Rich McHale. Rich is a retired sergeant from the Middle Township Police Department and has been involved with the Mark Himebaugh missing persons investigation since 1996. Rich recently wrote the book, Where is Mark? Rich, welcome.
Welcome. Thank you for having me, Meg. It's great to be on your show.
I appreciate you taking the time to come on and talk about, certainly this very, very important case. To begin.
It's a podcast. Like, I can show you what it'll look like. It's that. That's all you see. So I just put his picture up there.
By telling me, how it was that you got involved in the investigation 5 years after Mark went missing.
I know. I
Sure.
see that.
In 1988, I graduated the Calumet County Police Academy, and I started off, as everyone else does, in the patrol division. We had rotating shifts, and November of 1991, I was on a squad. Our squad was not working the day that Mark disappeared. Sergeant Peak and his squad were working day work, and I was off. I don't remember exactly. I came in probably the next day or night, depending on which shift we were working. I can tell you that patrols did not get directly involved in this case unless the Major Crimes and Himebaugh Task Force asked us to confirm an address or stop a car, something patrol related. So this primarily was a major crime unit investigation. And so as a patrolman, 3 years on in 1991, I had little to do with Mark Himebaugh's case. One of the things we did in patrol were to do property checks on the Himebaugh house in Delhaven. And I specifically remember at the time, Maureen and Jody were separated. So Maureen, Matthew, and Mark were living on Sunray. And when Mark went missing, it was Maureen and Matthew, and she left a light on with a bow under the outside porch light. That was there for years. In 1996, I was promoted to Middle Township's Detectives Bureau. And at that time, Scott Wexler was in charge of the detectives. And one of the things he said to me was to take my free time and study the case files, because they're pretty extensive, a lot of names, and you've worked criminal cases, and an involved investigation. There are a lot of facts and details, and they certainly were in Mark's case. In 1996, I'm a new detective. I didn't have a lot to do. That was really my time to learn the case for several years. It takes that long to get a grasp of the players in this case and what actually happened. 2.5 years as a detective. I went into the school system as an SRO, school resource officer, for 5.5 years, and I held the title of detective, and I would help out with Himebaugh things, but I wasn't directly involved. It wasn't until I did a stint with the prosecutor's office as a undercover drug agent, and after that, patrols. And 2007, I think it was, They needed someone an experienced detective, and Chief Joe Evangelista asked me to step in and take that spot. And at that time, Scott Webster, the main guy for Middle Township Police, he was everything of the Mark Himebaugh case, had retired, and kind of gave the mantle to me to be the point man for Middle Township Police. And that's really where I started going to Maureen Himebaugh's house. I would sit with her in her living room. I did a little reinvestigating of the case of my own. I interviewed the whole Himebaugh family, including Jody, Maureen, Matthew, cousins, nieces, nephews. And that's where I really, I would say, in my own opinion,
Hey, Avery.
had a solid grasp of the case. And at that time, question.
Got it. Okay. Let's talk about really specifically the day that Mark went missing. November 25th, 1991. Mark is 11 years old. He went to school that day, correct?
Yes, he did. He was a student at the Special Services School, and he had behavioral issues. He started out in Middle Township school system up until third grade, and then he really became too much for the Mark is a student there, and he comes home. He gets picked up at his front door and dropped off at his front door every day for school by the Special Services School District. 2:30 p.m. He is dropped off, and Mom just came home came home a few minutes after that from ShopRite, and Mark was watching cartoons in the living room.
Okay. Now, I'm just trying to go back here and look, but maybe you know off the top of your head. November 25th in 1991, was that the Monday after Thanksgiving or the Monday before, if you know?
It was the Monday before. That was Maureen's birthday is the 29th of November. So there were a lot of things culminating that week, positive things in the Himebaugh house, even after a summer of a lot of frayed interactions within the family. The father living in Cape May. Mark's father, Jody Himebaugh, didn't necessarily get along with Mark. He disciplined him stronger than he did Matthew. Jody was in the barbershop quartet, and Matthew was very musically talented. And so naturally he gravitated towards his father. And so when discipline issues, he come down harder on Mark than Matthew. And so there's a lot of tension between Mark and his father. Matthew and his father got along good. Mark and his mother.
Yeah, what was the age difference? I'm sorry to interrupt you. What was?
I know I keep interrupting about Carly, but there's so much stuff going on. Like you can hear on the radio them talking about the Red Roof Inn and the family getting a call from Carly. But what I want to know is, don't the family know her voice? Wouldn't the family know and recognize her voice if that was her or not? I'm just so confused.
The age difference between Matthew and Mark?
Numerically, it was 1 year, but it was actually about 11 months that Matthew was older. He was 12, but we're getting ready to turn 13.
Okay. Now there was some sort of a fire that day, correct? Either a brush fire or a marsh fire. Yes,
that is correct. Now Mark has there's 3 streets there: Rutledge, Eldridge, and Sunray, and they run towards the bay, off of Bayshore Road. And I'm saying all this to lay out Mark's house. He had a single story house, and they had a bay window that faced south, and it's faced the reeds and the Phragmites grass towards the Lower Township Water Tower, if you're familiar with that.
Mhm.
Lower Township and Middle Township are divided by a creek, and right on the Lower Township side of the creek is where this brush fire, if you will, erupted around 2:50 p.m. on Monday afternoon.
So Mark sees it and tells his mom he wants to go take a better look at it. Is that right?
That is correct, and it also drew attention from around the county. Not a lot going on. It's a bitter cold day, but a bright, clear day. So the smoke emanating from the marsh grass was pluming. It was thick. The fire was not as big as the smoke portrayed it to be, but the smoke was enough that it shut down traffic on Bayshore Road, the main road in and out of Lower Township and Middle Township from Route 47. That was pretty significant to the local residents in that area at the time. So we have the brush fire, we have Bayshore Road shut down, and we have people coming into those three streets I mentioned earlier off of Bayshore to make a U-turn, go back to 47 and try and detour around the fire. At about 3 p.m., Maureen Himebaugh has her elderly neighbor in Woolery come over and ask Maureen if she would drive her to the Villas gas station and pick up her car, which was in for repair. Maureen did not know that there was a roadblock, and Mark is in the street. I believe he had just come back from walking down towards the fire, and he says to his mom he's going to get a closer look, and Maureen says, "Okay, honey, I'll be right back. I'm going to take Miss Woolery to get her car, and then we'll start dinner." And significantly in their plans that night, they were going to see Miss Kubiak, who was a former teacher of Mark at the Special Services School. And Miss Kubiak had two young girls that Mark kind of fancied. And I say that because a question arose whether Mark was running away from home. And he was going somewhere where he wanted to go that night, and he had no reason to run away. He was in good spirits with his mom, and he had something to look forward to that later that night. So the possibility of him running away was kind of, although we didn't know that as much at the time, a concern was that he may have been a runaway or hiding from starting the fire. None of that was true.
Did he see his mom like in her car on the street as she's leaving to take the neighbor for a ride? Okay.
Yep, she's backing out of the driveway and stops. Mark was in the street returning from his visit to see the fire. So at some point, Mark walks after Maureen leaves.
So he tells mom he's going back to the fire.
Yes.
Okay.
Mark walks south on Delaware Avenue. Delaware Avenue parallels the bay. And at some point it dead ends, and you can either go on the beach or into the Phragmite grass, which is not really a walkable area. Mark?
I am 95% sure that was not Carly. I'm sorry for interrupting.
Enters the beach and continues south to the pump house. And several people were doing this. This was not unusual. There were elderly people that lived on Delaware Avenue, the Hilligans. They saw Mark at the fire. They saw him. There really wasn't much to see. So the firemen are there, and they're putting out the brush that's burning. And then Mark, after a few minutes, turns around and retraces his steps back in the direction of his house and Delaware Avenue. Along the beach, he comes off the beach onto Delaware Avenue, and as he's doing that, there's several teenagers coming now walking his path, and they tease him and say that he's starting the fire, and they know he didn't, but they just tease him, and they said Mark was in good spirits, and he continued on. A young family sitting in a car. There was a line of cars on Delaware Avenue at that point, facing south, watching the smoke or the fire. You would pull up and see all turn and make a U-turn there at the dead end on Delaware Avenue and go back to Bayshore Road. In one of those cars was a young family who, husband and wife, and the guy was a professional fireman in the county. And they say that they see Mark. He's happy-go-lucky. He's swinging his arms when he's walking. And right behind their car, they look in the rearview mirror. Mark stops for a brief second as a white male in the passenger side of this car is standing on the running board talking over the hood of the car to Mark. Mark pauses for a second. He says some one-word answer or whatever, and then he continues on as if he didn't want to be bothered with these people. A year later, the New Jersey State Police reinvestigate every detail of this case. And one of the things they did is they re-interviewed this young family and were able to get a sketch of a person of interest who talked to Mark moments before he disappears for good. So we have a good sketch. Let me back up to Mark's path that day. So he passes that car, and we're talking about 3:40-ish, and nobody has tracking of him at that point. But it's a half mile to the Cape May County Park, and the park guard sees Mark enter the park by foot with a girl who's about 10 years old, about a year younger than him. And they walk in you can either go left or right. The left is the playground. To the right is the basketball courts. And the guard is closing up for the day. He's at the trash bin at the entrance. That's how he sees Mark. He knows him from his interactions at the park. He positively identifies him. He thinks he's seen the girl that was with him before, but can't positively identify her. And to this day, we've never identified her or the male and female subjects that were in that car behind the witnesses that gave us that sketch.
That young girl's description, that didn't match any of his teacher's daughters or anyone in his class?
There were a number of female friends that Mark had in the neighborhood. All of them were interviewed. They pulled jackets from their closets. Scott Webster, Fred Teasenfitz, Marie Hayes, they all covered that point trying to identify who the heck this girl was. And surprising, everyone knows everyone in that neighborhood. And surprisingly, they could not identify who this girl was.
What's the distance between the Himebaugh house and where the fire was, and then from where the fire was to that particular Cape May County Park entrance?
Okay, so like Mark's house is on Sunray, and if you walk in a straight line due east to, you would get to the county park, and it's like 0.4 miles from Mark's house, his front door, to the marsh where the marsh fire was, is about a half a mile as well.
Okay, and is the Himebaugh house in between the park location and where the fire was?
It's actually like a triangular positioning, if you will. The marsh fire is kind of along the bay. Mark house would be like due north, and then if you look due east, a 0.4 miles, the county park is there on Bay Shore Road. It's like a triangle.
Okay, and that was the park guard. He was the last person to have seen Mark that day.
Yeah, to this day, Ron Pettit, who has since deceased, I believe it was around 2005, for medical issues, he passed away. But he is the last one to see Mark. He was polygraphed several times. He was interviewed multiple times, and his story and descriptions remain the same. He's a pretty credible witness to that. So we're certain that was the last point that anyone's seen Mark.
Thank you for listening in. Stay tuned for the next part in this conversation. This podcast is not a source of legal advice. No two legal cases are the same. Contact an attorney if you require legal assistance.
I don't see Rock Jim. Wait, that was a long time ago, right? I don't think I missed her. She said hi. Yeah. Okay, I want to make sure I didn't miss anything. That is the story of Mark. 11 years old. He went missing in 91. He has blue eyes, red hair, and freckles. At the time of his disappearance, he was 4 feet tall and weighed 85 pounds. He was last seen wearing gray pants, a blue shirt, a gray jacket, and white sneakers. If you have any information about Mark, please contact the Middle Township Police Department at 609-465-8700. Does anybody want to come up? Probably not. I don't think anyone in here comes up. And Avery's in the at the hospital, so. Okay, so I just want to clarify that Himebaugh went live and said on his title that Carly was found, maybe, with a question mark. So I went to his live while I was playing the videos on here, and apparently it's not true. The family did not get a phone call from her from a Red Roof Inn. Apparently, the family said it was not true on Facebook. I will keep an eye out on this, though, and see if there's any updates. I do know that the scanner did say that there was a call from the Red Roof Inn saying it was Carly and that she was there. I don't know. So don't take what you heard here and go bring it to other channels, because I never said that. And I just clarified what I heard on another channel. 4.7 thousand people in there. The highway for trafficking, they just busted a hotel. I don't know, you guys. This is crazy. Like, how do we just come out of a Rudy situation and fall right into a Carly situation? This world is crazy. It is nuts. And I just don't know what to say anymore, except at this time, Carly Russell was not found. It is confusing, Janelle. And you have all them people in there listening to him play the scanner. And instead of listening to the whole thing like I am in earbuds while I'm live, I know, Janelle, but you know how people are. Like these 4.7 thousand people now, and I'm sure they done went to many channels and spread the story. And it's not, you know what I mean? That's what I mean, Janelle. I just don't want anybody that watches it from here, go and say that she was found. I don't know. Apparently she was not found, so. All right, guys. I guess it's not true. I will keep watching out for an update. And if something else comes out, I will go live with it. If not, then I will see you guys tomorrow. This is the second time I go live today. And if something comes up with this, I'll go live again. You probably won't get a notification. So just keep checking your news feed for me. Goodbye.